Hi, John Merkus here, your host, and I want to talk to you directly from the heart today, just you and me. This is not an interview, it's just me sharing something raw that happened in my journey this week. And it's a moment that kind of stopped me in my tracks and opened me up to a powerful shift in some ways I didn't even realize I needed. So let's start with this. I hit a wall. You know, those moments where you think, why am I doing this? I was questioning everything: the international speaking path, the podcast, the hustle, the energy it takes to keep showing up. And it felt exhausting, not just physically, but emotionally. And in that state, I said something out loud that I hadn't quite realized was living in me. And I said, is it ever going to happen for me? Now, I'm very grateful for everything that I have. A podcast that goes out to over 25 countries. This is episode 70. I've been doing it for 18 months and loving it. It's had some amazing conversations. And there's another level that I need and want to go to. And it just hit me and I said, is this ever going to happen to me? For me? Is this ever going to happen for me? So that sentence that I said kind of like hit me like a punch in the chest. Because I've tried, I've worked, I've given, and there I was feeling like it all didn't matter. What triggered it? Well, recently I recorded a 5-minute interview for a client organisation that I've been working with, and I was proud of it. I was excited about sharing it, and it was a message that I cared about deeply. But then someone said something that knocked the wind out of me. They said, contractors shouldn't be on the company podcast. Now, I want to be clear. I have no ill will towards the company. They've given me great opportunities, and this is not about them. This is about my reaction to that feedback and what it brought up for me. But that comment, it struck a nerve. It activated something deep, and it fed into my oldest, most painful limiting beliefs. I was upset, really upset, and I knew that I had a choice to make in that moment. So I reached out to Karina, my coach. And she did what all great coaches do. First, she acknowledged me for getting into communication, and then we had a conversation that led to the breakthrough. Now, that's very important. If you ever feel stuck, upset, and all the things that go along with it, get into communication with someone you trust. Now, in this case, I wanted to get into communication with Karina because I knew I had a blocker there. Something was making me so upset. I wanted to explore it so I could break through it. That belief, it's never going to happen for me, it wasn't new. It was an echo from the past. Karina and I, we traced it back to the first event I held, my Happiness and Empowerment Seminar back in 1999. Yes, that was quite a while ago. Afterwards, and I did that seminar, I didn't have the tools to keep going. I drifted, I numbed, and somewhere inside, I told myself, maybe this is not meant for me. And that belief didn't disappear. It sat quietly, running the show behind the scenes. But this week, we shined a light on it. And with that came even deeper truths. We went through a process together, Karina and I, and we identified my top 3 limiting beliefs. And they are: I'm not wanted, I don't belong, and I'm different. Now, if you've ever felt one of those, you'll know how it colours everything. The over-efforting, the need to prove yourself, the sting of feedback, that feeling no matter how hard you try, it's not landing, it's not enough. What we discovered is that I've been seeking validation externally through performance, productivity, perfectionism, trying to earn worth through what I do instead of who I am. But here's where the shift happened. Karina introduced this powerful concept. Reaction is automatic. Response is a skill. Let me say that again. Reaction is automatic and response is a skill. So when something triggers me and maybe you, I sometimes react so fast that there's no space. One negative comment and suddenly I'm spiraling. But what if there was a space between the trigger and the emotion? What if that's where freedom lives? We called it the gap, the power that lies in the gap. And I realized I've never really trained myself to slow down in that moment, to name the emotion. And as Karina put it, and it's been said many times, name it to tame it. So we use the emotion wheel. And if you want that emotion wheel, just reach out to me, or you can Google it and download it. That's all over the internet. Karina explained that actually naming the emotion that you're feeling, your brain releases chemicals to help you move through it. So when it understands logically by naming it, your brain will help you move through it. Amazing. And that naming gives you access. It lets the emotion move through instead of hijacking everything. So I'm learning to catch the thought before it creates the feeling. It's not easy, it's not glamorous, but it's the work. The same way athletes train in silence. I'm building emotional muscle. I'll be honest with you. My body's been telling me the same story. I've been carrying emotion in my throat and my chest for months, so I took action. I booked a massage to start releasing that stored energy and learning about how we store emotions in our body. I'm committed to having a regular massage. It's a small act of care that helps reconnect with myself. And I'm wondering for you what you could do, an act of care to help you connect and or reconnect with yourself. We also schedule a session for what's called the universal freedom technique. Now that's a way to clear the emotional imprints left behind by those old beliefs. Now I wasn't ready to do that this week, and we already had the call for an hour when we got through all of this. And yes, I cried at the end because it felt like such a relief and a breakthrough. It was just a release, and it's cool to cry. But I have locked it in for next week. So it is going to happen. And it's part of the coaching process too, is timing. You can't force transformation, but you can create the space for it to unfold. And that's what I've done. Now, why am I sharing all of this with you? It's because this is what coaching is. A lot of people think it's just goal setting or productivity hacks. But what coaching is, it's a mirror, a safe space, a powerful partnership where you get to meet yourself fully, where the stories running your life are seen, heard, and rewritten. That's super, super important to understand. I'll say it again, where the stories running your life are seen, heard, and rewritten, because we're making up stories all the time about things that happen to us. I had one piece of feedback, and by the way, I had 30 other pieces of feedback that were positive. Had one piece of feedback, contractors shouldn't be on the company podcast. And I made up so many stories, and it plugged into my limiting beliefs of I'm not wanted, I'm not enough, and I'm different. Those limiting beliefs. So I started to make up many stories about that one comment. Then through the coaching, I could see that that's what I was doing. That's not the truth. It's just a story that I made up about the situation. And I can rewrite that story. And this week I remembered something that I've said to many others, and I'd like to say to you right now. You're not broken. You're just human. And growth, that starts with awareness, with being able to say, I see what's happening inside me. I know what I'm making it mean, and I choose something new. So everyone says, you've got to have awareness, you've got to have self-awareness. Well, this is what it is. It's being able to say, I see what's happening inside me. I know what I'm making it mean, and I choose something new. I've printed a new power statement and I want to share it with you here. This statement is, well, I'll read it and then we can talk about what it is. Centered in the power and magic of who I am, I magnetize all manner of support and abundance into my life. My contribution blesses the world in profound and extraordinary ways. If that resonates with you, you can also say it out loud every day and let it rewire what you believe is possible. And that's the point. It helps you rewire what you believe, or what, in this instance, what I believe is possible. Because remember my limiting beliefs that I'm not enough and I'm not wanted. So the power statement that goes along with that is, centered in the power of magic of who I am, I magnetize all manner of support and abundance into my life. My contribution blesses the world in profound and extraordinary ways. Because here's the truth. You have the power to respond, not just react. You have the strength to rewrite the story, and you don't have to do it alone. Look, it's really important to note, this breakthrough didn't come from pushing harder. It came from pausing, reflecting, and being supported. And I want the same for you. So if you're feeling stuck or carrying a weight of it's never going to happen for me, know this. This is not the truth. That's the wound. And your next breakthrough might be one conversation away. Thanks for letting me share this with you. It's taken something to be this vulnerable and put this out there for you to hear, in the hope that you'll get something out of this. And I'd like to thank Karina Murphy publicly for being a lighthouse in the storm. If you've ever been listening and thinking, maybe I need that too, that space to be seen, to feel safe enough to unpack what's really going on, then I want you to know you're not alone. Working with Karina has given me tools and techniques. It's given me clarity that I couldn't see in the fog. It's helped me find my footing when I felt like I was falling, just like this week. And if you're someone who's ready for a breakthrough, whether it's big or quiet, visible or deeply personal, this kind of coaching could be exactly what you're looking for. Look, there's no hard pitch here. I don't get any financial reward for recommending Karina. I'm just offering you an open door. If something in this episode stirred something in you, trust that nudge. You deserve the support too. And if you want to find out more about working with Karina, just reach out to me and I'll connect you. No pressure, just possibility. Now, I want to play the 5-minute interview that sparked all of this. Not because it's perfect, not because it's universally praised, but because it came from my heart at the time and I think it's worth sharing. This is 5 minutes of gold nuggets. Now, the interviewer, she's a lovely person, but because she talks fast and has a kind of a interesting accent, people have asked me if she was AI generated. And the answer is no. The host is a real person and she interviewed me for 5 minutes, and here it is.
In just 5 minutes, John's going to share some powerful insights that will leave you inspired and ready to thrive. Let's jump in. So, John, tell us a little about why you're known as the positive change guy.
Great question and great to be on the show, Alice. I'm known as the positive change guy because I bring optimism and energy to everything I do, especially when it comes to helping people navigate change. I genuinely believe that change isn't something to fear, it's an opportunity for growth and to thrive.
How has your passion for resilience and mindset shaped your life beyond the workplace?
Well, it's everything. Resilience is about knowing that life has its challenges, but there's no problem that doesn't have a solution. You see, there's two aspects to being human: your circumstances and the conversation you are about your circumstances. And the conversation you are about your circumstances has more to do with your quality of life than your actual circumstances.
So, as a change specialist and podcast host in your free time, you worked with a lot of people in different industries. What's one common challenge you see and how do you help people overcome it?
One of the biggest challenges I see, whether in business or personal life, is resistance to change. Look, people get stuck because change feels uncomfortable, it's uncertain, and sometimes even scary. Look, I get it. We're wired to seek stability and stick with what's familiar. But here's the truth. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. So in my work as a change specialist, I help people flip the script on change. So instead of seeing it as something that's happening to them, I help people see how it can work for them. When you shift your mindset from this is happening to me to how can this help me grow, everything changes. I always say resistance isn't a wall, it's a doorway.
Boom, mic drop. So if someone wanted to make a small but powerful change in their mindset today, what's one thing they could do?
Start with a daily wins list. Every evening, take 30 seconds to write down 3 small wins for your day. It could be as simple as I had a great conversation, I went for a walk, or I was patient through a tough moment. It works because what you focus on grows. When you start noticing your wins, you build momentum and see progress, even on the tough days. Try it tonight and see how it shifts your mindset.
I will. I even picked up my pen to write it down. As the positive change guy, what's one daily habit or practice you swear by that helps you stay positive and resilient?
One daily habit I swear by is starting the day with intentional focus. Before I even check my phone or dive into work, I just take a few moments to set my mindset. So sometimes it's a meditation, sometimes it's visualizing my goals, and on other days it's simply asking myself, who am I going to be today? Because we're human beings, not human doings.
Is there anything exciting you're working on right now that people might not know about?
Yeah, I have a podcast, Rise and Thrive Conversations for Greatness, where I interview and sometimes do solo episodes on what people think and what they do to achieve greatness in their lives. So anyone listening, if they'd like a bit more content or if you'd like to hear a bit more of this kind of stuff, I'd love you to listen and follow the podcast. I'm also launching a mindset meditation app to help people build resilience and cultivate a winning mindset. It's about practical guided meditations to help you stay focused and motivated. It's exclusively my voice, so if you like the sound of this voice, you can have me in your ears through that app. And I even do one where for 15 minutes I tell you how great you are, just to get that positivity into your brain and your subconscious as you're doing things. So some people think meditation is being in the lotus position with your eyes closed and trying not to think about things. I think of it as being intentional about what you're feeding your mind and what you're doing and having that mindfulness, and that's what this app is all about.
Well, John, you're clearly an expert in resilience and mindset, and I feel like I've learned a lot. Before we wrap up, any more words of wisdom you'd like to leave our colleagues with?
Well, that's very nice of you to say, Alice. Absolutely, I could talk about this all day. I have a mindset of everything happens to me for a reason and that it serves me. Life's full of unexpected twists, challenges, and detours, but I truly believe that every experience, good or bad, is shaping me into the person I'm meant to be. So no matter what you're facing now, trust that it's part of your journey. It's teaching you something, preparing you for something, or opening a door you haven't even noticed yet. Keep moving forward with curiosity and confidence, knowing that life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you.
Another mic drop. I think it should just be called John's Words of Wisdom for 5 minutes. What an inspiring time we've had today, John. Thank you so much. And I look forward to writing my 3 wins of the day tonight.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
There it was. I hope you enjoyed that 5 minutes of gold. I especially love the life's not happening to you, it's happening for you. So if this episode today spoke to you, send it to someone who needs to hear it. Or better yet, reach out. I'd love to hear what limiting beliefs you're ready to release. Or if you don't know what they are, you can explore them with Karina, with a trained professional. So until next time, keep thriving. You are wanted, you do belong, and you are enough. And of course, stay awesome. Thanks for joining us on Rise and Thrive Conversations for Greatness with John Merkus. Remember, you are loved, you are worthy, and you do matter. Embrace the journey of personal growth and motivation. Let's go out there and do something great. Follow or subscribe for more insights and inspiration every Tuesday. Until next time, stay awesome.